Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Epic Marvel podcast live stream. And I've got three boxes to open up, and it's kind of interesting because it's I got an Epic Collection box and a DC Finest box, and then I have this mystery box. I got this today, and I have no idea what's in it. It's got an eBay return address, but I didn't buy anything on eBay recently, so I really have no idea what it is. So we're going to open this up together. It's heavy as well, and we're going to be pleasantly surprised to find out what it is. But before we get to that, let's see who's in the comments here. James, you're always the first to comment. That's wonderful. Dan, Partworks Comics Reader, 4 a.m. That's amazing. Jason Carpenter and RJ. Nice to see you. And if you're tuning in, you can leave me a little hello in the comments just to say hi. It's the evening here. It's like what time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock. Yeah, sorry. This is a lot later than I thought it was. Rascal Wolf 2 just got back from hockey. Nice. You can cool down while you watch this live stream. Last time I mentioned that I opened up a package that had Supergirl, DC Finest Supergirl in there, and then like a day later, the Aquaman had showed up. I was supposed to get Aquaman first because it was the first one it came out before Supergirl, but for whatever reason, Supergirl beat it. She is faster than Aquaman, obviously, so that's probably the reason. But I went ahead and started reading this one first just because I'm picky and I'm reading them in the order that they're released. So I'm about halfway through this one, and every panel is beautiful. I love this stuff by Ramona Fradon. Really, really nice work. She just has such a great style, a great classic style. She had, because she passed away, but she had such a great classic style. All of her panels, none of them are stiff. None of them are boring. She uses really nice compositions and different camera angles, and it's just really, really nice. The stories, on the other hand, are kind of silly, and maybe that's because this is the Silver Age. This is 1975 to 1962, and Aquaman was treated just as a backup character for this period. He only had a 6-page story in Adventure Comics, or Adventure or Action Comics. What is it? Yeah, Adventure Comics. He had a 6-page backup feature. And so all of his stories are seeing that they're only 6 pages. They don't have a whole lot of depth to them. And some of them are clever and some of them have a nice little twist at the end and such. But for the most part, it's like, Aquaman's playing around with this octopus, and then I don't know, something silly happens and whatever. But once you get about halfway through, and this is the part where I'm at now, there's one story called The Origin of Aquaman, which I didn't realize that I actually never really knew the origin of Aquaman before. Um, but once we get to that point and we start learning about the the underwater city of Atlantis, this is the first time it shows up in this book, is halfway through. Then the stories get more interesting because then they start developing a little bit more of the lore of Aquaman, and then Aqualad comes into the picture shortly after, and an Aqua Girl, I think, or Aqua Woman, I can't remember what she's called, but that one has one story, kind of fleshing out um, what Atlanteans are like in this Aquaman world. So I'm excited to read the second half of this because the first half was a little bit tough to get through, but I think the second half is going to pick up. Um, what do you think? Are you guys Aquaman fans? Honestly, and I think I said this on a live stream before, and maybe on one of Dom's live streams, kind of worried about Aquaman in the Silver Age because of the old Filmation cartoon, which was so bad. I didn't like that at all. Um, Aquaman was never appealing because of those episodes, and I feel like the first half of this book really captures my feelings for that Filmation cartoon, and so except with better artwork, that's for sure. Um, Never been too familiar with pre-crisis DC outside of Batman, so it's nice to see this stuff get printed. Yeah, there you go. Gave away my Flash Silver Age Volume 1 yesterday. 7 issues, 7 less issues than the Finest. I think I prefer how the color sits on the satin. Significantly thinner paper than the old Silver Age, though. Yeah, it definitely is thinner paper. The ink lays on top of the page. In that those old Silver Age books, trade paperbacks, the ones that were the companions to the Omnis, they used um, they used a thicker paper that it was almost kind of newsprinty, and the ink soaked into those pages. So for those who didn't like the harsh saturation of the yellows and reds, the primary colors, those old trades were a lot better. These ones, the colors are a lot more vibrant this time. But speaking of DC Finest, why don't we open up this one here? Got it from Indigo. We're going to see what's inside here. It's the next release, the third release for January. And this one, personally, I'm really excited for because it's Green Arrow. And this one, the Longbow Hunters. I've been looking forward to this one since the announcements. This one, Batman and Catwoman and Teen Titans were all the ones that I kind of like. These are the ones I really. Oh, and Plastic Man. So this is 1987 to 1988, so kind of the same era as the Batman Year One, and I really like that era of DC Comics. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this one has to offer as well. I like Mike Grell; he's a good author, and this was the original cover, but they've decided to change the cover image. There you go; it's a little bit different. Um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Longbow Hunters. I think this is going to be excellent. Look at that artwork. It just is very, very beautiful. Um, let's see. I just want to see who is the artist here. Oh, Mike Grell is the artist with Lurleen Haynes as the art assistant. So that's cool. I like that. I wonder if art assistant doesn't necessarily mean inking, but it probably means inking. They got some really cool things at play here. Mike Grell is really he plays a little bit with panel layouts. Um, he's just a very realistic artist, and I appreciate that here. Wow, look at that! Really, that's just brutal. I can't wait to read this. This is gonna be so good. Um, I know a lot of you have already read this one, but I have not, and so I'm so excited. And then it goes into his regular series, which also looks absolutely stunning. There's quite the issues of the question because there's a crossover in here as well. And for those of you who don't know, let's see what's on the back here. DC Finest Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters numbers 1 to 3. Green Arrow Volume 2, 1 to 8. Green Arrow Annual Number 1, Detective Comics Annual Number 1, The Question 17 and 18, and The Question Annual Number 1. So there you go. Really nice. There's the spine. Looking forward to that. Um, I'm gonna have to kind of blast through Aquaman and Supergirl because I really want to get to this one. So I might just maybe I'll just skip ahead. So happy to see Ollie getting this much love this early into the line. Yes, me too. I hope the Shadow miniseries is included as we go forward. That would be great. Don't know anything about it, but I'm on board to get it in there. Used to have a lot of Grell in singles. Fantastic run. This first one is mostly double dips for me, but future volumes that'll be less of a problem. I wish DC would do these and compendiums in digital format like Marvel does. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why they don't. Uh, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I love the Epic collections, but I'm much more of a DC guy, so I'm really happy with these DC Finest. Pick up my first two, Aquaman and Supergirl. I don't know what to pick up next, Legion or Flash. Personally, first time plays, I like the Flash volume better than the Legion of Superheroes volume, so that would be the one that I would go for if I were you. I remember that being one of the first dark comic books for a mainstream character at the time. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's coming off of the heels of Batman uh Dark Knight Returns. A lot of comics were heading in that direction. That was kind of a big seismic shift in the way comic books were working at that time. Okay, so we're gonna do this one now. This is an Epic Collection box. So we're gonna see what is in here. I think there might be two books in here, and I think you fans of classic Marvel will be really happy with what you see in this box. Very happy indeed. Okay, there's two in here. The first one is going to be, this is a big one, folks. New Mutants, Volume 4. This is 1986 to 1987. And so right around the same time as this Green Arrow book. And the significant thing about this is the final volume of the New Mutants Epic Collection line. All of them, all of the other volumes have been released. This was the only missing piece. So you can get this, and you'll have everything from New Mutants 1 to 100, or did it end with 100 or 101? I don't remember, but you'll have the whole run in here. And as you can see, this is the last volume of Chris Claremont's run on New Mutants. It has New Mutants 45 to 54, annual number 3, and the entire Fallen Angels series numbers 1 to 8. And that's what the cover is here, Fallen Angels. So, what does the inside look like? Let's take a look. We start with the Marvel 25th anniversary cover. And that's Barry Windsor Smith, I believe, doing Magic. Jackson Geiss and Kyle Baker on art for this first issue here. We get some X-Men guest appearances. Chris Claremont played those two titles, X-Men and New Mutants, together pretty heavily in these days, and um, those were the only two X titles at the time, so it was kind of a big deal. Uh, Honestly, I can't talk a lot about this because I don't know much about this era of New Mutants. I've been following the rest of the volumes, but this is still in their kind of early days, so the team is still the original, um, like Danny Moonstar and Cannonball, and um, that looks like Alan Davis is doing an issue here, um, with Impossible Man. But Magic's already the Dark Child here. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be some good stuff. Again, this is the era that I love, so I'm going to enjoy digging into this. Um, when you get this, I think everybody should post pictures on social media of all the New Mutants volumes together if you have the complete set, because this is a big deal. This is the biggest line so far that Marvel has completed from start to finish. And yes, technically you could put like Iron Fist and Power Man, and then Power Man and Iron Fist all as one line, but they all have different titles, so they're kind of treated as three separate little lines. But New Mutants, New Mutants is all the way done. It's the biggest line so far, 100 issues. Um, let's see. Number volume 1 is called Renewal, and volume 8, the last one, is called The End of the Beginning. And from there, the title gets rebranded as X-Force. And we don't have all of the X-Force issues yet. We've got the first four. The fourth volume is going to be coming out in a few weeks. So you can continue New Mutants all the way to X-Force Volume 4. Then you have to skip a couple titles, and then they have some of the later X-Force volumes. So we have a few to fill in the gap there as well. Then we'll have a really complete run of New Mutants / X-Force. And that's pretty exciting too. So there you go, folks. Show your appreciation when you get this to Marvel, because the fact that they stuck through, and I mean, it took a long time. It's only 8 volumes, but um, it took 10 years or something like that. So, but it's there. We're coming up to the period where we're going to be hopefully finishing off some of these smaller titles, some of the bigger titles too, actually. Okay, the second one is Spider-Man. Classic Spider-Man. This is the Amazing Spider-Man, volume 11, 1978 to 1980. Nine Lives has the Black Cat. Marv Wolfman, Keith Pollard, and John Byrne are the main uh, cover credited creators for this one. There's the spine image. Oh, did I show you the spine image for New Mutants? There we go, Sunspot. Nine Lives has the Black Cat, and there's the back cover, which, okay, camera, focus for me. I kind of think that this should have been the front cover, but this one's okay too. Let's see here. What should I show you? Let's take a look inside. This is Amazing Spider-Man 186 to 206 plus annual number 13 and Spectacular Spider-Man annual number 1. Here's the inside cover. Chaos is the chameleon. So starting right off the bat, we're getting a chameleon. This is the period of Spider-Man where he had a really solid. Well, he's always had a really solid rogues gallery, but they kept on coming back, and they would deliver really great short, maybe two-part stories with these characters. And of course, every author wants to, an artist wants to input their own new characters so then they can leave their mark on their era of Spider-Man. And some of them uh, are good and some of them are not that great. So we have a character here. Where did he go? Let me grab it here. Um, I can't remember. He looked like a mummy. Can't remember his name though. But I don't know that he ever comes back. Oh, it's John Jameson's son. No wonder, of course. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Oh, there's some great stuff in this. Just remembering what's in this comic in this volume. Um, man, this Man-Wolf stuff, a lot of fun. It's in there was a Man-Wolf complete collection that was released a few years back, which is really, really great. And so we have a lot of good stuff in here. Spider Slayers, and of course, this is the volume where we're introduced to the Black Cat for the first time. And so yeah, I think that's the standout character from this era of Spider-Man. And I don't want to give a little spoiler, but he's looking over the grave of Aunt May there. Doesn't look too good for her. Oh, just love it. Look at these splash pages. Just wonderful. That's Manwolf. Yes, Phil, you're right. I'm sorry, I forgot all about that. It's this is all coming back to me now. Um, really, really fun. It's interesting because this is through the 70s Spider-Man stayed consistent and it's no wonder that it became one of the top selling books and like Marvel's flagship. This is Amazing Spider-Man 200 Return of the Burglar. Um one of the flagship titles during this era because it was so great. And one of my favorite characters or teams is the Fantastic Four, but wasn't a huge fan of the Fantastic Four through uh through the 70s. And so it's a stark contrast. A lot of the same writers and stuff, but um, sometimes you get a good run and sometimes you don't. But Spider-Man was one that stayed very consistent through the 70s. The Prowler, there's another new character for you. Silvermane. The Kangaroo, there's one that didn't really take off. Wonder if Sony's going to make a movie with that guy. Seems like the logical next step, doesn't it? Here is the king size annual of a Spectacular Spider-Man #1. I've never read this one before, but it sure looks good. Look at that. Looks good. Who's the artist on this? Let's find out. Wow, looks amazing. Rich Buckler. Rich Buckler and Jim Mooney. That's a good team. Bill Mantlo writes this issue. Punisher. Punisher shows up. Man, I just watched Daredevil season 2 on Netflix. I'm doing a rewatch, and that Punisher is just so great. I really, really like the way he turned out in that show. Uh, there's some other good stuff. So this is a book that's coming out at the end of February. I think, let me see. I gotta check my dates on that. February the 25th. These are Epic's numbers 423 and 424. So there you go. Both New Mutants and Spider-Man are coming out on the same day. So that's a big day because this is an awesome volume of Spider-Man, and you're getting the conclusion to the New Mutants line. So that's good. Black Cat kind of only shows up at the very end here. So I think we'll see her show up a bunch more in the next volume. And of course, she's a pretty big player through the spectacular Spider-Man years. So let's hope that we get a spectacular Spider-Man epic collection at some point so we can see those issues. That would be great. What's here in the way of bonus features, you ask? A little thin on bonus features this time. We have some original Keith Pollard pages, original scans. We have original concepts sketch there. Marv Wolfman first conceived the Black Cat during his time writing Spider-Woman, as seen in this unused cover by Carmine Infantino. The original concept for Black Cat was a film noir femme fatale with bad luck powers, dressed in a long gown and a large hat. Then Wolfman became the writer of Amazing Spider-Man. He reworked the Black Cat costume or concept into a more action-oriented approach. Dave Cockrum designed the costume. That's good. That does look like a Dave Cockrum design, doesn't it? And there we have unused cover art from Keith Pollard, as well as original art, a cover sketch. And some more stuff from, what is that one? John Byrne and Keith Pollard. Okay, there you go. That's great. I didn't show you any extras in the New Mutants book. Let's see what's here in the way of extras. Marvel Age issues or articles. Marvel Age again. More Marvel Age. They were really pumping the heck out of it. Too bad Fallen Angels didn't turn out to be that great of a series, but they really were pumping the heck out of it. There you go. Okay. Okay, now I have a mystery box. I said this at the top of the stream. I got a box in the mail today, but I have no idea what it is. Because I am expecting some things from Amazon, but this doesn't say it's from Amazon. It says it has an eBay return address. So, and I didn't order anything off of eBay, so I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's a book because that's usually what happens. That's usually what comes to my door, but who knows? It's a complete surprise. Hopefully, it's something that will be interesting to the people here on the live stream. It might be. Who knows? Let's find out. Oh, okay. I know what this is. And I was expecting this. It's not from eBay. I did somebody a favor and they repaid me by sending me this big book, The Amalgam Omnibus. Look at that. Wow, that is a thick book. DC versus Marvel, The Amalgam Age Omnibus. And so this is when I was there when it's um when they first announced they were going to do DC versus Marvel. It was the biggest thing. It's like, yes, and they wanted everybody to vote on it. You had these little voting cards that you could actually tick off and um and and, and mail in and cast your vote. And so it was really amazing because they had the first couple of issues. Um they had the first couple of issues, and then we were supposed to vote on it, and then they were going to give us the conclusion to the story with our votes. It was the biggest thing. Here's a little reproduction of the tally. Um, oh no, that's a scoreboard. They had some character profiles. Yeah, this brings back a lot of memories. This was such a big deal. A lot of fun. And then um, there was a plot device which meant that the two universes, Marvel and DC, merged together. And that way we had characters that were combinations of Marvel and DC. So the Superman and Captain America, of course, became the Super Soldier. And then they had one issue for Super Soldier. And they had a series, I think there were like 12 of them, 12 amalgam issues of characters that were mashups. And they treated it it was really clever. They treated it as if these comics had always been running for years. They had letter pages with fake letters in them where people were talking about past events, and it actually filled in some of the lore that they didn't actually put in the comics themselves. I wonder if they included the letter pages in here. Let's find out because they were. Oh yes, they did. Oh good, because they were so good. It was part of the deal. So yeah, X Patrol is looks like Doom Patrol and X-Men. Of course, those are they have some distant connections anyway, way back in the 60s. So it's cool that they combine those characters together. Batman and Wolverine formed the Dark Claw, and that's one of my favorite covers is that one there, Legends of the Dark Claw. So cool. Um, and then then they came back the next year with a second amalgam story. It was called All Access, I think, and the amalgam universe returned for another crossover. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. Marvel versus DC All Access. And then they gave us another 12 amalgam issues, which are also in this book with different characters. And it was just so much fun. Spider Boy and the Legion of Superheroes. Is that what this one was called? It was drawn by Ledron. That was one of my first experiences with Ledron's art. It was very, very cool. Spider Boy team up. Yeah, there we go. With the Legion of Galactic Guardians 2099. That's what it was called. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna really enjoy going through this. Apparently, there are a couple of issues that are not in here. One is there's one X Patrol issue, and I think Magneto and his Magnetic Men because they are written by a guy who has fallen out of favor with um well with everybody pretty much because of doing some unscrupulous things. So he is he's kind of I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they didn't include those two issues in here, which is too bad. So if you have those single issues, which I'm pretty sure I've got tucked away somewhere, you'll have to pull them out and put them inside here. Oh, they have the cards. Okay, I always wanted to collect these trading cards. They had the Marvel versus DC trading cards came in this really long pack. It was like two times the height of a normal pack of cards. And inside there, you got your voting slip. So there it is. They've reproduced the voting slip here. So you buy a pack of cards, you get the voting slip, you can vote for who you want to win. And it looks like they've reprinted all of the cards here too. So that's awesome because um, they came and went pretty fast, and I was never able to get very many of them. So to have them all in one place, that's pretty awesome. Um, and then Amalgam had that set of cards too, and looks like the Amalgam cards are all in here as well, which I've only seen like 5 of those, so that's very cool to see. And then man, a lot of bonus features because they were, of course, um, they were promoting the heck out of it. We got some fold out pages. That's cool. Wow. Yeah. Covers, original art. That's the Jim Lee cover, original art for that. Um, Extra pages, concept, thumbnails. Wow. This is gonna be really cool to go through. It's just so much. It just keeps on going. That's amazing. It's incredible that something like this exists. This and the Marvel versus DC omnibus. I know I don't usually promote omnis on here because I definitely prefer something a little bit smaller and easier to hold, but I couldn't pass this up because it's just it's the fact that they've mended mended ways, or you know, shook hands or whatever to make up, and they gave us this book, and the other one is just incredible. So there we go. DC versus Marvel, the Amalgam Age Omnibus. Does Perez or Byrne do any of the artwork in this book? Let's find out. That's a great question. Let's see. Pencilers include Butch Geist, Patrick Olaf, Claudio Castanelli, Rodolfo DiMaggio, Dave Gibbons, Dan Jurgens, Jim Bayland, John Byrne. Oh yeah, John Byrne does one of the Captain America Superman stories. Superman, the Super Soldier thing, I think, is Captain America. Let's see if I can. It's hard to find here. Does that look like John Byrne? It doesn't actually look like John Byrne. Who did this one? Oh, that's Dave Gibbons. Yeah, so that's not John Byrne. Anyway, his name is on there. And who was the other one you were talking about? Um, Roger Cruz, Gary Frank, Tom Grummett, Salvador LaRocca, blah 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 blah. No, I don't see George Perez's name in here. So there you go. It's just John Byrne. Ah, John Byrne does Amazon. That's the mashup between Storm and Wonder Woman. Okay, great. Thank you everybody for letting me know about that. 2.5 years ago, I said I was only going to get 3 epic collections, and now I have 100. That's amazing. Yeah, it'll do that because it's a great way to collect. It's just well thought out, and it's a good size, and yeah, there you go. Hopefully they can shake hands again one more time and reprint JLA Avengers Absolute. I would like that because I didn't get that, and I should have. What was I thinking? Odd they didn't reprint that writer's work here when they were happy to reprint it in the Justice League Omnibus. Now, maybe DC was okay with it, but Marvel wasn't. I mean, that's entirely possible because Marvel has a say in that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, and maybe I don't know. It depends on contracts. Maybe there's some contractual obligations that the Justice League has where this one doesn't, or so I don't know. Whatever, who knows? But yeah, it might have not been DC's call completely in that sense. Wow. Okay, so that's this book, and we also talked about New Mutants. We also talked about Spider-Man, and let me turn off this comment. We also talked about Green Arrow, and we also talked about Aquaman. Boy, we had a lot to talk about today. This is hundreds and hundreds. In fact, it's thousands of pages of comics right here. And this is going to keep me steady for a long time. Um, and I hope that all of you are able to get through your reading piles as well, because there's a lot to go through. I missed the Amalgam when they were first published. How did the stories hold up? Now, they're not all the best. Some of them are really great. Some of them are pretty good, and then there's a couple of them that are just like, wow, what are we thinking here? Um, I, uh, I think for the most part, the real factor here is just being able to see them mash up these characters. and just go with the fun of it. They don't have to be hard-hitting stories. That's not exactly the point. One of the other things about the amalgam stories is that they end on cliffhangers. They all end on cliffhangers, even though they had no intention of doing a part two, because they wanted it to seem like this universe always existed and it always would be, even though it was just a flash in the pan for 1 month. So that's gives you a little bit of behind the scenes, not complete stories. They're just having fun. They're great just to go along for the ride. So there you go. I can already hear Omar geeking out over New Mutants getting finished. Now that New Mutants is done, they have a space open for another team of young heroes, and I think Omar would love to see something come out with another 90s young 90s team. Who would that be? I wonder. I'd need dynamite and a bulldozer to get through my reading pile. Yeah, you build your house out of that, right? When is the next Alien Epic Collection coming out? That's a great question. I don't know. Uh, in 2024 and 2023, we both got Epic Collections at the beginning of the year, but we have nothing announced for 2025 so far, and that was unusual. I'm not exactly sure. Um, oh yeah, actually, Aliens got it was gonna be at the top of 2024, but then it got bumped to August. So, if that's the case, then we could still get an Aliens Epic Collection in the last few months of 2025. That's entirely possible. So let's assume that that's what's gonna happen. 2024 was the year of, oh wow, it's finally getting reprinted. ROM, Micronauts, Godzilla, DC versus Marvel, Amalgam. Hey, let's not. Oh, actually, this is 2025 now. Let's not forget that the Nam is coming out. The Nam, actually, if you want to go, the Vietnam, the Nam is coming out in an omnibus form as well. So like a lot of stuff that is like we never knew DC was going to care about it all, or Marvel was going to care about it all. They're bringing it back. They're getting the licenses. They're digging in, and also they're licensing out some of their stuff to. Pardon me. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. They're licensing out a lot of their stuff to Fantagraphics so that they can. Yeah, hold on. Pardon me. Um, Fantagraphics is putting out their own line of books with even more obscure stuff that Marvel definitely doesn't have any interest in doing themselves. So, between those two publishers, we're getting a lot of good content and keeping a lot of stuff in print, um, or at least reprinting it. Whether it'll stay in print is a different question. Um, if you're interested in the Marvel versus DC or Amalgam stuff, you probably want to get that sooner than later because that I'm not sure what their contracts state, whether they're going to stay friendly and give this multiple printings, or if this is a one and done deal and it won't be seen again. Who knows? So you better jump on that sooner than later. And I would say the same thing about ROM, Micronauts, Godzilla, any of that licensed stuff. They're not going to have that license forever. It's just the nature of the game. Those contracts don't stay contracts forever. They run out. They have a time limit, and whether they get renegotiated is all up to whether they think they can make more money. So if ROM has run its course with reprints and everything, and they think it's not worth reprinting again, they're not going to make money. They're not going to renew the contract. So definitely, I wouldn't wait on those ones. It's not like Spider-Man, that's for sure. So there you go. Thanks everybody for watching. I think I'm going to cap it here at 40 minutes. It's been a great blast talking with everybody here and showing off a few new books. Um, okay, what am I most excited about out of all of these books? I think is actually Green Arrow. And with New Mutants, the fact that it's coming to a close, that we're getting all the volumes, I think that one's really good too. So there you go. Those are all your books. The DC Finest are out now. Marvel versus DC Omni or Amalgam Omni is out now. And then these two epic collections are coming out February the 25th. Thanks everybody for watching. Like this video for me. Just click the little like button below. That always helps me out, stay in people's algorithms and such. So, but thanks everybody. It was a pleasure spending the evening with you, and I hope you have a great night. See ya.